Hey everyone, this is Eric Gardner with the Hey Eric Podcast, episode 29, and we're going to do a market update for last month, April 2023. Thanks for joining me. I'm from Blackwell Realty Group, by the way. So lots still going on. The Fed just announced interest rates yesterday, and I'm recording this Friday, the 5th of May, and we're going to be talking about April, but the Fed just raised interest rates 25 basis points. So now they're still floating around 5%, but the market for interest rates has already priced in a 25% decrease this fall and a full 1% decrease in the Fed funds rate next year in 1 year. So interest rates for mortgages have actually dipped a little bit because of those prices that are being priced in the future, those decreases in the Fed funds rate. So that tells us a lot about where economists and market makers think the entire interest rate market is going. They think the Fed's going to have to decrease them, even though they just did the increase. So that's step one that I wanted to talk about. But diving into the real estate side of things, total sales are down again. April of last year to April of this year, they're down 28%. So last year, and remember, April was still a really good month, finishing out the post-pandemic because they had just barely started raising rates a year ago. So last year was 3213 sold in April of 2022. This year is 2308, so the decrease is 28%, which is significant. And what else is significant is that's 300 units lower than even last month, so March of 2023. So March was a busier month for real estate sales than April. That is fascinating. Why did that happen? Maybe just more uncertainty. Maybe it was weather related, like we've had a really long winter here in Utah, and I think that definitely affects people wanting to go out and tour homes. So that's crazy. List price. So median list price along the Wasatch Front last year, $515,000. This year, $500,000. That's a small decrease of 3%. Sold price, median sold price last April was $535,000. This year it's $475,000. So it's more of those lower price point properties that are moving quicker. Maybe fewer higher price point properties are even posted. Days on market, obviously still higher. Last year at this time, they were median days on market were 5. This year it's 27. That's actually decreased from last month. Last month we were at 32. In February we were at 50. Last December we were at 44, and so we've kind of peaked out on days on market, and they're starting to decrease again for median days on market. So that's good for the market as a whole. People are getting back into buying and selling properties because we know where interest rates are at. We know they're not going to necessarily go higher. They've kind of just stabilized for a mortgage around 6%. We know that the housing stock is still there. Available units for sale on the Utah MLS right now, 6,800. Available along the Wasatch Front that I look at is 4,278. So, and that's actually higher than last month also. Last month was 3,900. So another 300 units are available for sale right now as to a month ago. So showing that people are getting ready to listing their house because it's spring. They're moving into that buying and selling season where maybe they want to move during the summer when their kids aren't in school. One last thing I wanted to touch on was the sold to list. So sold to list last year, because things were still getting bid up, the median sold to list last April of 2022 was 104%. So that means typically things sold for 4% higher than what they were listed for. This year, April 2023, it's actually at 95%. So it's a 5% decrease. So people are listing at $500,000, for example, and the median sold price is actually 5% lower than $500,000. So just an idea of where things are going when people list and people sell, the final accepted offer price. And one thing I always say, when you're pricing a home, don't overprice it and then work downwards. Price it at market aggressively to get attention, get people in there, get it sold, so it doesn't become like stale bread sitting on a shelf, past that median days on market. And as I said, median days on market right now are 27, so you don't want to really get past that because it's just going to wear. People are going to see it, they're going to notice it, they're not going to necessarily move on it very fast. Also, we did just have the jobs report came out. Wage growth, yeah, the jobs report was still good. Wage growth is steady. And so there's still this concern about what's going to happen to inflation, if it's actually going to calm down. Let's hope it does. But as I mentioned in previous videos, you know, the Utah market is still strong. We still have a great labor market. We still have a significant housing shortage. So I don't foresee a market crash in Utah still. You know, pinch me, but I hope there's not. And that's where the market's at. We currently have 1.85 months, so almost 2 months of supply, which is still technically a seller's market. As I mentioned previously, buyers and sellers need to get creative to help make deals happen. You know, sometimes people's expectations and reality are out of line. But that's kind of the short of the market update for this month, for looking back on April of 2023 and what's happened. But once again, the Fed has increased the Fed funds rate another 25 basis points. And the market is already pricing in a 25% decrease this fall, and then a full 1% decrease in the Fed funds rate in a year from now. So, and that's already being reflected in mortgage interest rates that are going out. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Go to heyerick.com, hit me up, ask me any questions. Thank you.